Up next on Inside ChampCar, getting the band back together. Welcome to Inside ChampCar. I'm Brian Bielanski, getting the band back together. So it's John, Paul, George, and Ringo. The Fab Four. Well, actually, the Fantastic Three, the Terrible Three, the Terrific Three, or something.
And
I'm just like the roadie.
Aren't those all like trademarked, Ringo?
Nah, I don't think they're trademarked. They were smart. I don't know if they were that smart. Anyway, Mike Chisek is here. Ray Franck is here, of course. My fearless compadre, Bill Strong.
Who's the guy without the beard? I completely forgot he didn't have a beard. I've seen him like 4 times over the last couple of weeks. And yeah.
Anyway, welcome, guys. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
And Doc Waldrop joining us.
Say that like you mean it, Mike.
It's so hot in North Carolina right now. I told the guys today, I swear the sun is moving closer to the state. We're gonna all die here.
But Mike, you work in a really nice air-conditioned Quonset hut type thing, right?
I work in a donated black mold infested camper trailer that we put an AC unit in just so we won't die.
Yeah, it's been pretty hot. I noticed it looked hot when I looked out the window the last couple of days. I went out to the mail at like 7 and it was already in the 80s. So
I think we call that sun.
Yeah. Hey Ray, how you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while.
I don't know. I'm listening to all this candy talk here. Y'all men are so soft. Come weld with me at the body shop tomorrow.
No.
Just like the day before. Come on, y'all.
I thought body shops were all like air conditioned / everything's the same temperature and
I've almost got mine air conditioned. Maybe next year I'll have it finished and we can turn it on and be cool all summer. But right now I'm sweating like I have for the last 50 years.
Well, Mike, we've asked Ray this, but we're going to ask you. How did you get yourself started in this crazy game we call auto racing?
I lost a bet.
All right, tell us about the bet.
Racing, I guess you can't call it professionally, but racing like with going fast, organized, that kind of thing, as opposed to going to testing tunes and stuff at the track. That was a magazine ad. I want to say it was Make Magazine.
Uh-huh.
They're still in business as far as I know. Yeah. 2008
or 9. We lost you, Mike. We lost it. Can you guys hear me? I lost you. So you guys can hear me, but you can't hear them. Yeah, so this is what happens when we try to do something a little different. We have Test, test. Can you guys hear me? Test, test. Can you guys hear me? All right, so you guys can hear me now. Yeah, we've had just a system crash on Zoom, so I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, sorry about the sound there, but we'll get these guys going. I sent them an email. They're going to rejoin a different Zoom. Hopefully they'll be coming in here in a minute. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Certain. Get that yellow car off the screen.
Amen. What kind of ice cream you got, Ray?
Chocolate mousse track.
Ooh, it's a nice choice.
I splurged, baby. I stepped out on the edge. I went there. Chocoholic is just.
Ray, who is the golden-bodied trophy with the head on top?
Oh my God! Don't let the public know that you don't know what this is.
They're not on yet, so we can get away with this question.
Oh yeah, they're on. They're watching.
Oh, whatever. Then I don't know what it is.
Oh. That's right. You haven't been around since our beloved Doc Waltrip has passed. In his honor, only those that reach the top, to way up yonder, over top the roof and stuff, hovering up in the air, only the epitome, the top, are eligible to win the coveted Doc Waltrip bobblehead.
Looks like
Doc Waltrip Award.
It looks like a 37-year-old Doc Waltrip.
Well, pictures work wonders.
All right, we are live, boys and girls.
Okay. Now that you have let everybody down, I
know. This is what I do.
15 minutes of technical problems.
Yeah.
Aside from that, it was true an honor, and I got choked up when I received it, because I know
well deserved.
What did you do?
Still does
to get such an honor?
That's the Employee of the Year award.
I worked very hard, sir.
Yeah.
Well, that we know.
Or a mere
and you're good at driving a fire truck.
All right, let's start this show, guys.
Are we doing it right now?
I'm guessing everybody can hear us, right? Say yes, Timmy, Paul. Probably the most users we've ever had watching this, and they just all dropped off. But
yeah, well, because it didn't work right, so they left. They felt like they've been robbed, cheated.
All right, we are back. They can hear us loud and clear.
Okay.
All right. So, Michael, we're going to ask you. We're going to ask you a different question this time, because the last two,
thank God,
you just completely stopped. So, all right. So, you started racing in Lemons, right?
I did.
Okay. So, how did that go the first time?
We had a 84 Dodge Colt with 80 horsepower. Bad gas. Good weekend though. It was kind of fun.
Lots of chili.
After that weekend, we went separate ways, and we built our own cars, and wound up in ChampCar because they got a hold of us. And actually, back then it was ChampCar. I'm sorry, but we got asked to market for ChampCar and got to race because of it. And my car didn't do so well, so I volunteered on pit road a lot, and then I wound up getting offered a job for the East region, and that wound up being top boss. And that was kind of a 10-year snippet right there.
So how did you? What did you start racing? I thought it was a Camaro, right? Or when did you get
when I did
Camaro?
ChampCar, I built it was an '87 Camaro Z28, and my brother and I, and my wife and my brother's wife at the time, we were on the team. Brother's ex-wife, she made 2 laps before she pulled in the pits and ran out of the car crying. Brother and I had a good time. That first race, we blew the motor. We rebuilt it, went back out on the track. I got tired of driving after a while. I mean, it was 10 o'clock, and I pulled in the pits, and my brother's sitting there, and he's, "What is wrong?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "What are you doing here? Get back out there." So I had to go back out and run more laps, but
So yeah, lots of experience racing, and so then you kind of started doing the eastern region, which we found fun. It was really great working with you back then because you were
driving back then.
Yeah, we were driving. You were pretty tough on us, and especially.
Man, I was tough but nice to everybody.
I don't
Still
know.
am.
You left me sitting out in a sand trap one time for a really long time.
I didn't know who it was you. I would leave anybody sitting in a sand trap equal opportunity, whether I know you or not.
Yeah, but now that you know Bill well,
he'd leave me out there all race.
Would you leave him out there longer? Yeah. That's what I figured.
I think it'd be funny.
Yeah,
exactly.
To be fair, if Bill was running in the lead, I probably would try to send out a tow truck quickly. But if he was running his typical, like 15, 20th, then I probably wouldn't worry about it in the moment.
But that when we had the lead or we were up in the top 5 or 6, it wasn't going to last long. It was usually about 20 minutes before the end of the race where just all the wheels would fall off the car. So
see, that's the joy for us. Ray knows this. We can watch what's going on, and people are screaming about that car's cheating and that one should be here. And it's like, relax. This will all sort itself out. Give it about 2 hours and you'll see. And they didn't listen to us.
Yeah.
And what happened in 2 hours, Ray?
They start running out of gas, don't they?
There's a misconception, and everybody keeps on talking about Bill's wheels falling off. Yes. They didn't fall off. His drivers actually beat them off with hitting stuff. Like
that's true.
The fences, other cars, the ditches, them concrete. What is them ripple things? Over them all the time, cutting corners, just rough on the car so bad. I mean, they tortured it. It's like they come from the demo derby.
But they did it smoothly. They did it the Ray Franck way.
You call that smooth?
So what you're saying, Ray, is that Bill was not caressing the car like a beautiful woman?
Well, I did. It was maybe not my drivers.
Oh, that's correct. Blame it on the other drivers.
Yes.
I don't know. Bill's driving style, well, hey, he's won a race and I haven't.
And I did
win.
Yeah, I have won a race, Ray.
And your favorite race was Charlotte, which you placed second.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was the one.
That was the one.
Stabbed the heart.
Yeah, we had a 9-lap lead. Not really, because we fought really hard to do that one. We pulled everything out, and if the race had ended 2 laps earlier, maybe it would have been a different story. But you just kept that flag out. Keep that green flag out. No.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was my job to end it at 10. I didn't realize I could have ended it at 9:54. That would have been
awesome.
Yeah, that would have been great, right?
It was all the blame on the strategy. Yeah. All the blame on the strategy. Man had a helicopter pilot in there wheeling it. Later, he didn't think the man had it.
No.
What happened to that car? Did you blow a cylinder out or what?
No, no. It was 2 injectors went out, and or not injectors. 2 was it 2 injectors? No, 2 coils went out on the spark plugs. So it was basically a 4-cylinder. Yeah. Didn't realize it. I thought Derek was because Derek had never driven the car. So I just, maybe struggling a bit. So the deal was that if somebody's faster, and I happened to be the fastest guy in the car that weekend, I'm getting in the car, going out next. And we brought him in a little early. And as soon as I went down pit lane, I knew exactly what the problem was. And I felt so bad because it wasn't Derek's fault. Derek's a really good driver. So, for him to, that kind of sucked. But again, we pulled out all the stops and we tried to do it, but we failed. But still, that was second place coming off the win at NCM was still pretty damn good, I thought. So It was fun while we were up there. So, but back to you, Mike. So you just got asked to come back on and run this company.
Yes. Well, it's not like I disappeared. I've been watching you guys, and I talked to a lot of you because we're all friends. So that just was followed up by a phone call that says, "Would you be open to coming back?" To which I said, "Yes, but understand I have another company. I can't do what I did before." Unfortunately, they didn't need the same type of work that I did before. They just needed somebody to do, as Ray likes to say, all that backroom business stuff. So that's what I do now. I'm not going to be at the track like I was before.
And keep Bill under control.
Well, that's part of the job description, yes.
Would that be like a 60-40 split with Bill? Would that be a 75-25 split?
Wait, let's not make this about Bill tonight.
No,
It depends how much coffee he's
about
had.
how much he has to work to keep you. It's not about you per se.
Yes.
It's about the heavy lift that you are on his life.
Well,
Bill and I always worked great together. Yeah. And, you know, and when I hear stories like, oh, but Bill's doing this. And I was like, you need to relax because Bill does a lot of work around here and he's your best asset. So just relax, let him do his stuff. But apparently they couldn't. So now they have me back on.
the fun part is like today, you know, we had some mail come out. We had to take care of some stuff, and I'm trying to pass it on to Mike, and Mike said, "Just fill it out and just do this." But I
understand? I got customers standing in front of me when you're calling,
and I was like, "Ah, I got it. I got this." But no, it was fun. But yeah, all right. So, what kind of change are you going to do to ChampCar? First one was legalize all 427s, right? Big V8s. Big turbos, free.
Are we talking the original 427s? Or are we talking
the side oilers? The side oilers, or even the LS8s. I don't know what.
LS7 is a 427.
Everything is legal, right? Anything with LS.
I'm thinking about it. I like them, you know.
I know that's
Ray. I don't think Ray would like that, though.
Yeah.
All right, you brought up a subject here that, you know, I've been heavy on my heart. Talked to Mike about it. Talked to Chelsea about it quite a bit. What is too much, like horsepower or too much speed in a car to run with ChampCar? Like to come get a taste of what our racing is like. In like say the EC class, you know what? We just can't let anything come in there and race. I mean, Z06 Corvettes and stuff like that people really, they ask all the time about bringing over. We just know that's just too much car to put out there with our.
Well, I think that's my thoughts about that is we have 115 horsepower Miatas or 67 horsepower Opel GTs.
Yes, remember the deal still stands, Bill, by the way.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can do. So the deal is I can do anything to that car, anything, but I have to win. And if I don't win, I can never race it again.
Oh.
The problem is we're going to get to 12 hours and 59 minutes or of a 13-hour race, and something will happen. Bill, you're black flagged and DQ'd. But yeah, so
contingency plan.
Yeah, but you have cars with 115 horsepower out there with a car with 500 to 600 horsepower. I mean, do you think that's right? Do you think that's No,
Ray and I talked about this the other night, and that's what he's getting at. Is we both have concerns that everybody wants to bring newer cars in, and to some extent that has to happen. I mean, the old cars are going away; they're wearing out, getting crushed and crashed. But the newer cars have more power. And then there's the one-offs, the EC stuff. People build these, like I said, Z06, or they've got Vipers or GT500s, and they just want to track them. And, we go to great tracks, and we've got a lot of, we've got all the pit personnel and staff to run an event, and they want to be part of it. But, Ray's right. You put a 500 horsepower car out there with the Miatas and E30s, and that's not good.
Yeah. It's hard because you want to be everything to everyone, but you also need to make sure it's safe.
Well, we have been limiting it. And, another thing is team also. I mean, they say it's case by case, but it kind of has to be. And another thing we got to realize, just stay in time. These cars are so tunable. These newer cars are, you can dial up what you want, and you don't even have to be around the car. You can email it to the car or whatever, send it over.
Hey, OnStar, give me 50 horsepower.
Yes, or take it away. So we can make these guys limit their horsepower to come play with us in a fair manner and see how they're going to behave with each other. Now, also, I'm going to let another little secret out. We have an ability to tell, kind of what they're doing. Yeah, as far as performance or whatever, are they over what they should be doing for the amount of horsepower they said they're going to run in the car? Or they are supposedly tuning in? If so, then they'll get reeled in pretty quick.
I mean,
think
we've had some pretty close races. Let's say I'm going to pick a team, some, hot dog looking Porsche and another car, a blue and gold Porsche, and they're side by side going for the win. What's it? How are you going to police that when one car just turns it up 2 horsepower just to get that, or extends that pedal just a wee bit further? How are you going to control that?
We can't. And a lot of other series that claim this power to weight that everybody thinks is the answer, they can't either. And not everybody knows it, but I guess if they pay attention to what I'm saying, who does? But yeah, that's not the answer either. You've got to have rules that are going to try to control speed and ways to measure it. And, we're going to see what we can do about it.
Now, one thing I kind of miss from the old days and was being able for Mike to be able to tweak VPIs as needed. Maybe not as much, but do you think that could be coming back where you could actually kind of real world see what the cars are doing and then adjust accordingly?
Yeah, I think Ray and I are going to do that for sure. The big important thing, without saying any cars going up or down or in or out, is just we got to avoid knee-jerk reactions to everything. Rules, but in this particular topic, value of a car. If everybody thinks a car is not valued right and it's not fair, we can look at it, but the solution is not to go and hit them with a plus 50 or plus 100 value. Give them a little bit extra. I mean, 10 points means you take off a wing. It can be pretty significant to a car's ability to make it around a track and a fast lap time, but they don't have the grip anymore. So you can make an adjustment and to try and equalize these things. And if it wasn't quite enough, then do it again next year. We don't have to make everything perfect overnight. And to try and chase that standard down is just going to drive everybody insane.
Right.
Well, and it's hard to do that when you might have 10 cars that are essentially the same car, but they have different people wrenching on them. And
they have different drivers too.
And they've got different drivers with different experience levels. And just because you've got one whiz bang, Toyota Tercel, the other 15 Toyota Tercels might not be so fast. So you're going to penalize one, but then you end up penalizing the slow ones too, which is fair to them, right?
Yeah. So you can't ever set the standard, in my opinion, based on the best driver, whether the best builder of a car, best driver of a car, because it will disadvantage everybody else who drives that model.
Right.
Yeah.
We happen to have somebody in the series who is excellent, beyond excellent at building race cars. Ray just went to meet him again, and it's always a pleasure to see what's going on, what's cooking in the shop. But we all internally know that we could give the guy anything we want, and he will build a winning car. And it doesn't bother him. You can give him a Porsche or a BMW or a Toyota Tercel, as you say. He's still going to come out and whoop on you. It's just his business.
Yeah. And he's good at reading that rule book and understanding it and looking for ways outside of not necessarily outside the rule book, but just looking for those windows of opportunity.
Yeah, it's like smoke.
Something he is the best at is helping people. I mean, I don't care who you are. You can walk up to Bill and ask him for something, and if he knows it or has it, it's yours. I mean, he helps. He's a fabulous ambassador to motorsports to anybody. I mean, there's several things. I mean, if you need something, he has it, and he hasn't used it in a while. He'll help you out with some stuff. So
I agree.
And it's not just
knowledge.
Bill.
Also, his he'll tell you exactly what to do.
And he's not the only one. We have our other folks there with the other Corvette. They're
absolutely, and
pretty cool. And
he wasn't the only shop I went to yet that day, and pretty some incredible stuff going on right there.
And Sayland, and I'll tell you, the Nanomakers are actually really cool guys. As long as you don't go up attacking them like some folks try to do sometimes, and they're pretty darn cool. I mean, they'll help you out. They'll point you in the right direction.
They will have
Very
their
good guys.
guys do something, whatever you need, loan you something, give you. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It strikes me that those types of programs that are so well put together from a mechanical standpoint and often have great drivers, they want great competition. They don't want to drive out front and be chased from 3 laps down all the time. That's really not that much fun. You know, it just strikes me that it's in their fun interest, if nothing else, to help people along to get everybody raised up as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove Troy's 2GR MR2 and at VIR, and it was so quick that it was boring, man. You couldn't really race with anybody because you were just pulling them on the straights and the corners everywhere. So it was like fast car, but just not for this series. And it was an EC car. So it's like, okay, I do like the minis that I drove at the 24 and the Porsche 944s, and it's just more equal to everybody else. That was just more fun. Now, not only do we have teams helping us, but what do you think about one of the questions we had in the surveys was get rid of everybody with the big toter homes. Do you think that's going to affect racing?
No, I mean, there's plenty of people that have a lot of money and no sense or skill. They want to roll in and fancy toter homes, and then just the car blows up right away, or they don't know how to drive. What's the problem? And there's plenty of people that show up on a dolly. We've actually had teams that drove the race car to the track, took the license plate off of it, and raced it, and did really well. Good people. Matter of fact, one of those up in Gingerman, they had some damage at the end of the day, and the rest of the paddock got back together and helped them fix the car on Sunday night so they could drive it back home. So there's all sorts of stuff, and I don't ever like to think that just because you got a toter home that you shouldn't be part of this.
Right.
You do know Ed won Daytona, right? I mean, I think that was during your absence. So he drives that thing to lunch and all over the place.
That's a great example of a person who drives the race car on the street and the cops are okay with it.
Yeah, he videos every one of them, goes live with it, and not everyone, but he videos it a lot, so it's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder, is taking the license plate off, is that to avoid someone snapping a picture and sending it to the insurance agent, or is that to save weight? Because
I think it's more of not losing it on a racetrack.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I think it was still on there.
Yeah, Ed doesn't take his off. It still says Florida. Yeah.
See, the stories always were so much fun that we see the cars come and go, and Ray talks to a lot of people in tech, and then I would find out later, maybe through Ray or somebody else, they say, "Oh yeah, that car out there, they drove it to the racetrack and they're going to drive it home," and it blows your mind.
Yeah,
because all of a sudden I'm thinking about what if it breaks?
Yeah. Oh, Ed's on right now. He says he drove it to PBIR, So,
well, that's in his backyard.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I know that you guys have, everyone talks and asks about a spec tire, and I know that is a very much of a non-starter. But how about the idea of limiting the number of tires per event as a way to help rein everybody in, and then maybe kind of push people to maybe not quite as sticky a tire to kind of level the competition that way?
I'll take that. Okay, you're going to limit how many tires you change. Okay, you have a team that comes in and they're running an event and they want to use up their used tires, and they're planning on changing mid-race, one used set for another used set. So, and then Sunday they may want to run a new set. Where you're going to draw the line, and how you're going to identify all this when you have 130 cars at Daytona or, 100 cars at Watkins Glen or.
Right.
That exactly the point is, any rule you make, how do you enforce it? If you've got 130, like you said, at Daytona, how are you tracking all of those tires all those teams have and make sure that nobody sneaks something in? There's 500-600 people there in a weekend.
Yeah.
So there's been a few suggestions here: a whitelist, blacklist for tires from John Wittenauer. Ed said add time to the stops to the fuel stops, and that's something I was thinking about. You do 5 minutes for fuel. If you're going to change tires, it's 10 minutes. Something simple, or 8 minutes. I don't know, or something like that. You just add.
You could make that 6 minutes, because we see a lot of events come down to who gets out of pit road first. You're talking seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm rotating out my used tires, and so you just took the race from me.
No, I know. I'm just, So
It is probably one of the most difficult topics there is. And, I've talked to people and said, I'm not opposed to a good tire rule/plan, but I'm certainly not just going to throw any idea out there and hope it sticks, because it can cause a lot of chaos, like Ray's describing.
Yeah. Yep.
How about the idea that everything's pretty hunky-dory and we're not going to change much at all?
That's kind of where I'm at right now. Now, we know we've got some work to do and some changes have to be made. We seem to be getting petitions and everything that people want coolers and AccuSumps. And I don't know, Mike and I have talked, and maybe there might be a rule set out there somewhere we can come up with that, hey, if it makes racing cheaper and more reliable, you're going to have it on your race car at no penalty. But gee whiz, if something's going to make that thing faster, it's going to cost you, Bubba. Maybe that aero is way too cheap, as I think you'll find everybody says. So if we're going to give away the coolers and petitions, and I hate to vote against things that I really wish we could have, but I can't give stuff away without raising the cost of the performance stuff. But if we're going to ease up on the things that don't matter for speed to make our race cars cheaper, more affordable, more reliable, better racing, longer racing, cheaper for our members, hey, maybe we're going to reach out and grab something that will promote that. And things that are going to control the speed, the horsepower, and handling improvements and basic speed of any type. You're going to pay pretty dearly for it. So pick your points wisely. Still,
maybe 10 points for a wing, but it has to be mounted backwards, and 20 points if you want it right.
I don't know what the points are going to be. We've got people that do research and stuff, and it's going to be about what people can stand. I don't know.
Well, like Ray's saying, if people want the reliability parts and they want their speed parts, and then they complain that the speed creep is too much, the cost is too much, but you asked for both. And some people in the past have given them too much, like giving a kid too much sugar when they're a little kid. They may want it, don't give it to them. But I agree with Ray that I'm not saying we're going to change anything right now. I think since I just came on board, I'm getting up to speed and I'm kind of watching what's going on. But once I see enough and Ray and I talk, we're probably going to put together a long-term plan for announcement that would be a year down the road. So nothing happens right now. And that would be based on observations and trying to steer the club in a direction that is safe and affordable. We are not, pro racers in 600 horsepower stock car chassis. We are street cars. We are supposed to be affordable, and the economy makes it difficult to do anything affordable nowadays, even pizza. But we can have a goal. We can share that goal with the members, and we can make efforts to, move towards that goal.
It's you're Mike taking a little different tact on how you're going to run things, not necessarily overseeing everything at the racetrack, you think it's going to give you a better chance to look kind of at that 35,000 foot view because you're not in the weeds with everything and have kind of a bigger global picture rather than trying to make those weekend to week out decisions?
I actually don't. When I was in it before, week to week, I was always separated. I didn't have a car. I wasn't a BMW guy or a Chevy guy. I didn't have a team that I raced with. I was about as neutral as you could be. And having not grown up in professional motorsports, I didn't know how organizations were expected to run. I heard stories all the time, which were staggering. So I just came at it from a business perspective, and I looked at rules and values objectively. I didn't care if it benefited one or hurt another. I was trying to make everything even. So being outside now and not really going to the track, I will have less of that pulse of what the racers say and what's going on at the tracks. But, I have Ray and the rest of the staff to report back what they see and what they hear. And I'll visit a couple of times a year to see, but it's probably a little different this time than it was last time.
And one of the things that we're doing now too is each race we're going to do a post-race survey to our racers and crews, everybody that participated in the race, and we'll get their feedback as well. And Michael gets to see those and kind of get the pulse of what the racers are thinking. Because the first few responses are always VPI needs fixed, or that kind of stuff, and then they go into we start getting the good feedback. Not that your feedback's not good, people.
Is people comment in the heat of the moment about the race they were at, but they don't know about the race cars maybe up in New England or over in the Midwest, and the way the racing may be different. And maybe they just overreacted at the moment anyway. After they calmed down a few days later, they're like, well, that was a really good race. That was pretty close. And maybe they don't need to be adjusted that much. So we take surveys with a grain of salt, but we've gotten good ideas out of them. I've seen some of the last few Bill put out, and there's been some good comments, and Bill reaches out to some of the people and gets clarification. So we appreciate it. We definitely want to hear from everybody.
Yep. Now, let's segue into 2025 Le Mans, right? You've got that on the schedule?
We tried, but they didn't take our passports.
The ACO said no.
How about Nürburgring?
That's a little scary, man. Did you see the race this year?
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy watching these guys doing the kind of speeds they were through that fog and rain and just craziness. But kind of remind me of VIR a few times. So
yes.
Yeah. But we're Mike and Chelsea working on the schedule, and I'm not going to give away any names or anything like that where we're going. But yeah, we're working on it.
But you can say that we've got our penciled in schedule.
Yep.
And now we're making phone calls and confirming dates, and that's going to happen for the next couple of months. But we are going to announce our schedule on time, the way we used to.
Yep.
So the date October 1st for a schedule announcement. So we'll be busy up until that point.
Yep. And the BCCR for those folks building cars for 2025, that'll be out September 1st. For the initial review of the membership. And of course, they can always give their feedback. And in the past, we've been able to tweak. They find mistakes or whatever. And then we have until January 1st.
Yes, we're working on getting all that stuff done. And what I was talking about earlier, what we were talking about the future of ChampCar, maybe what the rule set may be, surely is beyond 25. 25 is all settled date. Mike is, like I say, I think he's got the schedule pretty well knocked in, and we're talking about beyond that. So don't freak out. Use those Penske's up while you got your chance. Let's get out there and do some racing and wear this expensive stuff out.
Hey, Mike.
Ray and I agree that any kind of change, we want to give the members more than a year advance notice so that there's plenty of planning time.
All right, Mike. Nate from Premium Dudes. So is Chelsea sticking around? Did Mike directly replace her or move on to a different role?
All right, Chelsea is absolutely sticking around. The only thing she's relinquished was basically the future business planning. So doesn't design the schedule anymore. That will be me. And she's not setting the budgets for the club for the year. But she is still going to be stewarding events at the year along with Jackie and Andy. And she's calling tracks, and she's planning SUPs and pit road assignments. So she's still very much involved and full-time with us.
Hope that answered your question there, Nate.
And I'll say I've talked to her probably more in the last few days since this happened. She's happy. You can tell. Yeah, this is good for her. She is where she wants to be, and she's gonna do a fabulous job with running her into things as usual.
Yep, I still work with her every day, and she's very relaxed now, which sucks.
Yes, although she has a cold right now. I talked to her today, and I was like, "What's with you?" And she's like, "Oh, I got a cold." I'm like, "It's July."
Yeah. Yep. So, and then we have so we talked about schedule, we talked about rules. What else is there, Michael? Anything new with you?
We need to set up a staff race.
Yeah, we have some fast staff. We did
what's your definition of staff?
Yeah. We've got some fast staff, Mike. We
can adopt people.
We went go-karting at Autobahn, and the gentleman near you there, Ray Franck, the Dominator, we like to call him.
He's a cheat code. He has a go-kart cheat code.
Yeah. And then Steve Freeberger, he is a big-time karter as well. So he was quick. And Kelly.
I don't like go-karting.
And
I do it. I don't do it well, so I don't like go-karting.
Yeah. And then Ray will come out with some badass Mustang.
Corvette.
Right? Or Corvette. Yeah. Well, Troy's got the faster of the Corvettes now.
He does, but
we've got 3 staff with Corvette, and I think Troy's is fast. Isn't Troy's the fastest?
Wait, 3 staff? Who's the third one?
Yeah. Matt has a Z06.
No,
that's it, honey. I'm buying a Corvette.
He has a Grand Sport.
C7.
C7's Grand Sport.
Yeah.
Very nice. Those are nice. Well, see, we don't want to race those cars. We want to get into some Champ cars and get out there. What are we thinking? Miatas? Should we do like an E46?
Opel GTs or MR2s? Which one, guys?
You cannot find more than one Opel GT in the world.
No, they've rusted out in everybody's yard. So, yeah. I got a buddy with a whole bunch, though, out in California.
In seriousness, I would actually like the staff to be able to do some racing because it's great to get a feel of what it's like out there in the track. Because Champ cars changed in 10 years, 10, 15 years. So I remember it was in 2009, 2010, it was a different experience than I witnessed from the tower in the last few years.
Yeah,
I get on the track every chance I get under research and development. Be a tech department. I'll tell you, I really have. I do pick up a lot of stuff out there about different cars, how they run. Some cars where they have their power, and where these guys are really getting it done. And I've been surprised in some issues of some top speed of some certain cars. I wouldn't know otherwise if I wasn't out there. But
yeah, that's why I think it's good. Plus, it's fun. Everybody likes doing it. They work so hard. It's good to them to get out there and drive and do what they love.
Any more questions out there for Mike? Go ahead and post it in the column there and in the chat, and I'll pass it on to Mike. But yeah, Ray, we got Nelson Ledges this coming up weekend, 30 some odd cars, which is pretty good for that track. It's going to be a pretty good field. We got Fred called Jackie and I up today, kind of getting things ready, making sure everything's ready that they've got everything ready for us when we show up, and he's wanting a big time race, and I think it's going to be pretty wicked. It's got some good cars coming out.
He's got the track for it. They've been working on it. And hey, did you tell me they have a new bridge?
They have a brand new bridge. Yeah, they paved bridge. Now, when you drive over it, you don't look down at the racetrack. It's a really nice setup now.
Well, that was a big expense, and as we know, tracks that you can't get in and out of the pits while the event's going on are kind of like a limiting factor for emergency and fueling. Of course, high endurance, you got to run and get gas, get food. So when you can't do that, it kind of hurts the event link that you can run there. So having that bridge, having access, a tunnel like Hallett put in, it really makes it where we can use the track.
So yeah, and it's going to be pretty hot there this weekend, so make sure you guys bring drinks. I actually loaded up the big cool shirt. Mike, remember that big cool shirt box you got that had like 1 million
Where
connectors?
is it? I was thinking about that earlier.
It is in the back of my pickup truck, ready to take to Nelson Ledges.
We had it at Sebring.
Destroyed.
Yeah, we had it at Sebring. So it's in the back of my truck, all protected, padded up and everything, and we'll load it up. That thing's heavy, man, even without ice in it.
It's huge, but we bought it, in 2018, we took it to COTA in July, and people just fell in love with that. They were crowding around it in lawn chairs and just sprawled out, hooked up to the IV of ice water.
Yeah.
So, if we need to in the future, we can buy some more of those. I know they're big to haul, but I do want to take care of our drivers in the summertime. I don't need anybody passing out.
Yep. And that's why I made Jimmy dig it out, and we'll start using it because we're seeing some pretty intense temperatures out there. So
come to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Or raise
summertime,
Yeah.
Come to the Central Valley of California this week.
Yeah. I don't know. Phoenix, my daughter lives out in Phoenix, and Mr. Federer lives out there as well. Federer Motorsports, they're out there, and I was seeing friends post up 125 and 126. So, out of their car. That's just insane. So when are we doing a race at Firebird Raceway out in Phoenix? or whatever they call it now. Wild Horse
January.
Ranch. Yeah. It's still hot in January. So,
My wife drove past Buttonwillow today, and it was 113.
Jeez. Well, we were at Willow Springs a couple of years ago. Remember that?
Yes, we were.
115, baby.
115. And it was
That's
64.
when we quit counting.
It was 64 degrees in L.A.
Yep.
And that's the one time I heard Ray curse. I mean, he was rolling down the window. Mother, no way. And hanging out the window like, why is it so cold? And it was cold. Oh, geez, 60. It was in the 60s. So, yeah.
I would love to be 60s right now.
I do have a question for Mike, something I want to say after he answers this. Think back now. Think hard. How many miles? Now, I know Bill and I probably have put down a little more miles across the country than Chisek and Frank. But Chisek and Frank, how many miles do you think we've traveled across this country together?
We did.
Now, don't count airplanes because that would be, we want that nonstop.
No, this is us wheeling the car down the open road. I mean, we did dozens of trips down to Florida, I-95, there and back.
Convertibles to, now.
We did.
And any tornadoes? Any tornadoes? Did you go through any of those?
No tornadoes.
No. It might have been some skirts of hurricanes a little bit here and there, but this is the East Coast.
We had the Daytona.
But we put a lot of miles on that. We were driving the Ram and the Excursion back then.
Yeah, I mean, and don't forget the trips up north also. Remember those, staying at Dante's and all like that. Those trips. So
see, we had good trips, but as time has gone on, the staff travel has gotten so much more pampered. In the beginning, you laugh. In the beginning, it was we had a fifth wheel RV, and it had 5 queen beds in it. And the entire staff stayed in that. Yeah. Thank God 2 of the staff members were dating each other.
Yeah.
And then
whether they wanted to or not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know when it started, but
quite sure that's a positive.
Yeah. Well, so then you get into hotels. Even then, you're sharing rooms at hotels. I remember staying in a hotel, and one of the guys was a friend of ours volunteering, and he's an older guy, and there's 4 guys, and he says, over or under. So what are we talking about? He says, who's over the sheet? Who's under the sheet? I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. One of the guys says, forget it. I'm sleeping on the windowsill. And he slept over there in a blanket. So this was life on the road, 10 years ago. Well, but it's definitely better for everybody now.
I remember the first time that we really hung out with you guys. It was at Summit Point. And I just remember some lady that was in your trailer. She just kept yelling at us all night long about shutting up.
I know who that was.
Yes. And we fired her. Yeah, she was so furious at us.
The thing about it was that woman, her husband was the coolest guy ever. He was like 6'8". His ring finger, it was loose on my thumb, and it was a big skull ring with glowing red eyes.
No, I was talking about Andrea. No.
I didn't fire Andrea. Andrea's fine. It's the other lady. Yeah. Oh my God, I thought that's what you're talking about.
No,
she didn't last long.
No, yeah, that's up there with the whistle lady.
No, jeez.
Yo, my, we're not going to talk about them. No, we're not doing it.
Oh my God.
Okay, now I want to say what I wanted to say.
Say it.
Many years ago, you laid a foundation for this company of work ethic, of on time, on many of the things you demanded. And, thank you for that. And especially thank you for coming back and helping us out. I think we're in for great things. The club's looking good. Company's looking good. I'm proud of everything I see around. Bill's doing a fabulous job. Chelsea is just on top of it. Like I say, she's just giggly happy now. You've taken her troubles and worries off of her. And, she is... we're on for great things, I think. Y'all come race with us. We're going to have some fun.
I would agree. Yes.
Stuff to have some fun.
Well, I think a lot of folks don't realize how much or what is entailed to running a corporation, because we are a corporation. Now, there's just a lot of regulatory stuff. There's a lot of, payroll. It's you got to worry about payroll.
Where's my money?
Well, we got it switched over today. We switched accountants today. This is why my life was an absolute stressful day, because you don't want to mess with people's payroll. Because
fortunately, that's why.
yeah. So
we're good. We're good. Don't
Well,
worry about
I heard, Mike, you were doing this as a volunteer situation.
For the last month, I have been
Yeah,
volunteering.
he has been for the last month.
I'm keeping tabs though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's there's a lot going on in the background that as a business you got to do. And it was funny. I was talking to a member today, and I said I just let him know what kind of what my day has been like, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I own a big what the heck was it? A restaurant." And basically the same thing. He has to just worry about that every single day, all the fun things that he has to do. So
Jimmy wants to know where his raise is.
Jimmy, get on the road, Jimmy. We got a race to do in Nelson Ledges.
How about we tell Jimmy that instead of a raise, we'll just get him a big Super C toter home.
Oh my God, yeah, we'll get him a bigger van. It'll have a little ball cap on it, on the
ball cap.
The baseball cap, the Napa trucks, the old ones.
Oh yes, yeah.
I'm one day I'm gonna watch Jimmy put his hands on you.
Remember, we're old guys now, so it's only going to happen once. So
yeah, that's all it's gonna take. It's gonna be a snap.
Jimmy's fun. He called me up this morning, bright and early at 7:23 to let me know something. So yeah.
He's such a hard worker, and
yes, he is.
That's another thing about the work ethic thing and all. And he's just going to get it done. Yeah, just
absolutely.
So they ask us if we're going back to Indy, Mike.
We are going to go back to Indy. We're not going to tell you when, but we have, and I'll say it's not me. Bill and Chelsea have spoken with them. We are on very good terms with them, and because we've treated them well, they hold us in high regard, and we will be going back. It's just going to be a surprise.
Yeah. And a lot of it is all the schedules working out. That's the So being involved now at this level, I had really no clue how hard it is to schedule this stuff. People think out there we just go, oh, we'll just do a race here, we'll do a race there. But we've got to work around everybody and his brother, the SCCA, the WRLs, the Yucky Dogs, and all
IMSA,
NASCAR. I mean, it's just everybody, and it's not easy. And you don't want to put a race right next to WRL because it's half your racers race with them too. So it's difficult. Same with SCCA. Same with whatever. So
Mother's Day.
Hard.
God, don't
make Mother's Day. Well, it depends on where you're at. But yes, Mother's Day is a no-no. Father's Day in some parts of the countries are no-nos. Other holidays.
Dad doesn't want to race.
I know. Well, out west it seems like. So, but yeah. All right, Brian, you got any more questions there for these guys? Because it's past Mike's bedtime. He's almost. What are you 40 yet?
Am I 40 yet?
50 yet? So he's getting old. So getting time. Late,
says the aging near retirement person.
Yeah. I'm going to change
retirement second time.
I'm going to change that later this week.
You're going to retire? Unretire?
No. We're getting back on the bicycle. The bike boy is returning.
Oh,
so any MR2 guys out there remember the bike boy? That's kind of me back in the day. So.
Well, you got some catching up to do, Hall.
So I have a lot to do.
Come on, bring it.
Yeah, that's another place that Ray and I are going to compete in. Me, Ray, and Troy. So
I ain't keeping up with Troy. I saw what he was working on tonight at the tech meeting. So, you go for that.
Little Troy, his kids are ranked nationally in cross country mountain biking. Like one of his kids is number 1 in the country for his age group, and his daughter I think is like fourth or fifth in the country. It's crazy. It's like So yeah, they're going to make me look silly, but it'll be fun. We'll be doing some mountain biking next week. So, but yeah. All right. So Nelson Ledges this weekend. Then we get a couple weeks off, and then we head to VIR for the Lifeline 24-hour Classic. And we still have some room left at that track. Tonight is the cutoff for the early pay cutoff for the Thompson Speedway, the 12-hour up in Thompson, Connecticut. Or is that Mid-Ohio?
Is Thompson's in Connecticut, Bill?
No, I was thinking the cutoff is for Mid-Ohio. Darn it.
That one makes sense, yes.
Yes. Let me pull. I should not go by memory. There
Yeah,
we
we've
go.
learned that
July
lesson,
9th.
Bill.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. So Mid-Ohio, the cutoff is tonight. And then after that, that's September 7th and 8th. And then we head to September 21st and 22nd. We head to Harris Hill for an 8+7. And again, if you have not been to Harris Hill to race, you need to go because that is one wicked fun track. The place
pond.
is fun. The pond. We don't mention the pond. So yeah, the Texas Grand Prix, the early cutoff is July 23rd. That's in a week or so.
It's a small track, so we definitely fill that one up pretty quickly.
45 car max. That's it. That's all we can allow
How many?
there. 45 cars.
Jeez,
So-
you guys being awful liberal. I would cut it off at like 35. That's a tiny paddock.
They've got it down to a science how they park people there. So it's pretty cool.
Sardines.
Yeah,
That's a
pretty
science
much.
too.
But it's good. It's a fun race. So, and then October 5th and 6th, we're at Pittsburgh International Race Complex. I noticed that we're starting to get some entries on that. Early pay cutoff, save $200 is August 6th. We'll be sending out some emails about that stuff. Watch your email box. We're going to be sending out more and more emails over the coming year. Just letting you
But
know these
shorter
early
ones.
Yes, shorter, not really big, long ones. But just letting you.
That Pittsburgh event, you guys that haven't been there, you are missing out. That is a fabulous facility. That track, the whole place, it's just an experience.
Yes. As my kids would say, it's fire.
Yes.
But not the bad kind of fire. The good kind of fire that young kids say.
That is good race.
You want to experience a fabulous weekend of racing, that is the place. It is just awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't that the potluck race?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we used to do a potluck
Ooh.
there. I know Brian
Well,
has.
we
You got
gotta
to set it up through him.
we gotta be careful now. There's contracts, and some states are requiring, legal stuff, and so yeah, we got to be careful about potlucks. Wow,
Legal has ruined the world.
it's legal people. So
Camp lawyers.
yeah, so
Who knew?
who knew? Pot's legal pretty much everywhere else. So
Wait, we shifted from potluck to pot?
oh wait, did I
Well,
misunderstand
if
you?
you've got pot, you might have luck. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I'm out in California.
Yeah. So, by the way, the Nelson Ledges pit lane assignments are very hard to print. They're made for your phone, Timmy. Just use them on your phone. I'll fix that. I'll look at it.
And
All right.
Nelson, y'all are going to have fun up there this weekend, too. That place is really, it's a hoot.
It's that's one of my favorite tracks. It's super fast, super sketchy. Because if you make that one mistake, as you're on the edge, it's gonna hurt. But it's a fun track when you get it right. So.
I don't think you should put super sketchy in your marketing materials.
Well, no. I mean, it's just not sketchy.
It's going to hurt is not a selling factor either.
It's got that kink. That kink
I will say this, those tires, they will kind of do your car. It'll knot it up, but it doesn't bend the chassis. It doesn't damage it. It just makes it look bad.
Yeah.
But as far as, hitting something and damaging your chest and having to go to the frame shop, that usually doesn't happen. And it comes back looking all lumpy, but
I got pictures of mine. Mine went under the tire wall and the tires were up to the window. So yeah, that was fun. So, but yeah, it's a fun track. But you gotta respect it. It's very, very fast and takes some respect. So, all right. We got lots of cars there this weekend. Jackie's running that race. We'll be there Friday morning, bright and early. I guess Jimmy and some staff will be there setting up Flagtronics on Thursday night. Track day on Friday that is hosted by the track. And folks, there's some track days coming up. Please read and understand the supplementals. We have there's some events or some track days or HPDEs that we have that are hosted by ChampCar, and you pay ChampCar, and we have the schedule. And then there's others where the tracks run them, so that we don't. We're just passing on information to you. So please read the subs. It'll say it all in there. We've been getting some mail. I guess people are kind of upset that they're not getting free track days. They're expecting it when they go. But Mike, remember the days when we just showed up to the track on Friday? We unloaded the car, partied all night, and then went Saturday morning racing without even being able to walk on the track.
that was the deal. Like, if you got to walk on the track,
Oh, that was big time.
it was super big time. Everybody would walk out there together as teams. It'd just be like this charity walk on the track at night, and that was awesome. But that was rare. There wasn't test days at all.
No.
Every car went through Tech at every event.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your number was when you signed up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
your number was different at every event.
Yeah. That was.
Yep. Things were a lot different back then. So not all better, but there were some good things we missed too.
Yeah. So any
I
questions?
I saw a ChampCar, a car that hadn't run with us since like 2014, I think. And it was at a track day, at a test day. So I walked over and looked at it, and it little fuel components everywhere. There was some things, you and I discussed, Mike, when you hired me, things I saw problems.
That's when we allowed the brooms to put out a fire, right?
Yeah, it was quite eye opening, and the cars have really just come. Our club members have really worked on their cars. We're proud of the fleet of cars these guys bring to the track. It's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we've done good work, my man.
I agree.
Yep. So, any questions, Brian?
No, I'm good.
You're good. All right. Now we just need to edit this and take out all that blank stuff and Bill fumbling around saying test, test, test. Sorry about that, guys. Again, we'll this doesn't happen all the time. It only happens when the boss is on.
Exactly.
So.
It's like a normal dinner time conversation, so we're used to it.
All right, guys.
Hit the music.
Oh. Oop, too loud.
That's gonna do it for another episode of Inside ChampCar. If you like what you hear, subscribe to the podcast. You won't miss any episodes. Also, be great if you share it on your social media channels. If you comment, leave it on the ChampCar Facebook page, but only if it's a good one. If it's a bad one, put it on Ray Franck's page. I mean Bill's page.
There you go. I like Ray Franck's.
Bill Strong, Ray Franck, Mike Chisek. I'm Brian Bielanski. Have yourself a great week. Go out and have some fun with cars.